Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Idalia, I go by Annie. And today we're starting our teaching one-on-one series, and I'm hoping that my experience or just little tips or info that I can give and what I know can help you make a decision, because I know that a lot of you and a lot of the emails that I'm getting, which is the reason why I'm doing this, is because there's a lot of people that are either teaching back in the States and wanting to make the move, or have never been in the field and want to know how to go about it. And I hope to just answer some of those questions. I'm actually gonna answer the first question with this. Out here, you would have to be working for private schools unless you have a degree in education. If you were to want to work for federal government, like for federal schools, like there's a process to do that. So the main places that you could apply private schools called colegios. And I know it sounds a little odd because pues colegios, nosotros tenemos pensado, ¿verdad? Allá que los colegios son universidad, y aquí no, aquí un colegio es una escuela privada, and it goes from like maternal hasta college, hasta universidad. Entonces puedes tener todo tipo de colegios. So these colegios, whether it be applying for kindergarten or working for like a college, like a real college, they'll ask for some sort of education, right? So it's not always gonna be like a bachelor's or anything, but if you have like a GED, a high school diploma, and like a certification or experience or something to show, they'll probably give you the chance. They're not as strict, at least here in Laredo, but I have seen other cities in Mexico require more certifications than they do here. I've honestly have never been asked for any certification, but I think it's because it goes back to I was really young when I started teaching. And when I first applied, I applied with a GED, literally. I had no education because I was so young. I was still trying to get into school and all that. So I was like, hey, listen, as long as they see that you're able to work with what they got, because this is one of the questions that I get too. Like, I've never, taught anything in my life. How am I gonna go about teaching? And we can break it down to that, like further down. I can like really just I can do detailed videos on how you can kind of just at least my tips or what I've learned on how it can be easier for you to teach the English language, because sometimes it's not just knowing the language, and I think we all know that it's how to teach it. And I'm still, honestly, like after all these years, I'm still learning. I learn every single day because I didn't go to school for this. My field is completely different. Like nursing with teaching has nada que ver, right? So but I've worked with a lot of kids, and como quiera puedes ir aprendiendo, o sea, poco a poco. Nunca dejas de aprender. So if you do have some type of education, that would be great. But if you don't, okay, so you can go about this like a few ways. If you're already in the States, you can look into getting certified even before getting here. If you absolutely have never worked as a teacher, you can do that just for your own, like, just so you can feel like you're not getting out here and not having anything to show. So there are certain certifications that ciertas escuelas, o pues sí, ciertas escuelas ofrecen, universidades, a veces son universidades autónomas. Estaba viendo hace días. Okay, so let me start there. I found this one Facebook group called Teachers in Mexico or something, right? And aquí viene este grupo que es muy bueno, lo voy a poner aquí, de verdad síganlo, porque les digo, yo todavía estoy como que aprendiendo de todo esto de las certificaciones, porque a mí nunca se me ha pedido una certificación. Entonces yo nada más he tomado el TOEFL, que es una de ellas, una de las que piden, y fue hace muchísimos años, y fue cuando viví en Mérida, porque allá sí la pedían. Te digo, a veces en el sur como que sí los van a pedir, pero pues se fue hace mucho tiempo, and that's pretty much all I know. But I know that they had this one, I seen this one post, Universidad Autónoma de something, I can't remember what it was, Sinaloa or Nuevo León, I don't remember. And they were estaban ofreciendo como que esta carrera de algo bilingüe, o sea, como que de estudiar idiomas. So there's different ways that you can go about it. Let's say you don't want to do a whole little career in idiomas. You just want like a certification. I know that they have TOEFL, TK, or something. They have like a few. And I'm going to look them up, and I'm just going to place them here, even though I can't tell you in detail about each and every one of them, but I can tell you of some. Like Herman Hall, that's where I took my TOEFL, and I paid 500 pesos back in the day. And then immediately after that, I was able to just work anywhere, even though I had never lived in that city, because that's a little hard too. Like when you first get here, if you don't really have an experience, if you don't have experience anywhere, and you've never lived in the city tampoco, pues entonces sí va a ser un poquito difícil, ¿verdad? But even now, you know what? They're teaching online and they're hiring to teach online. And there's just so many options now. Like there's so many ways that you can do this that I will not be able to provide all the info for you. I will just tell you what's in my area and what I've seen online and these groups that you can just look into, and you can get in there and look into each one of these tests, and then Google the area where you'll be reciting. This is something that I tell people all the time. Once I maybe give out some info that you can find out here, always link it to the city that you'll be in so you can see what's out there. And I mean, in terms of everything, like medical facilities, schools, everything in your area, everything that lo que se hace aquí, se hace, o lo que se ofrece aquí, ya sea de gobierno, de universidades o cosas así, se va a ofrecer en otro lugar. Como que exactamente lo mismo, pero you should have some of the same things, to where you could go out there and see for yourself if it'll work for you. You know what I mean? Or if there's actually like schools that do this and give you these certifications. Many times it can be online too, but because again, I don't know if a specific website, I'm sure that there's safe websites that you can find online that you can do this too. But these are just some of the ones that I suggest that you look into. So salaries, you guys, go from 8,000 pesos a month to 22,000 pesos. That varies a lot. And it's really all just about the area that you live in, maybe. Some states pay more, some states pay less. And also the grade level, maybe, a kindergarten teacher won't be making as much as, as maybe like a college, professor. So you should kind of just look into what like age range do I want to focus on, and then you can go from there. Honestly, private schools in my region have been doing really good about raising salaries, and that's one of the reasons why I always stuck to teaching, was because it's always been because the pay's been good, and you work a little amount of hours. If you're lucky enough, you'll have places that'll give you like really good bonuses at the end of the month. You'll have paid vacations, and some will pay you summer vacations. Not all, but this one last place that I was working at with first and second graders, they did. The downside to it is, there's pros and cons to everything. So I'm kind of just going to go through them, right? The cons about this is that you won't always get law benefits. And this is the reason why I went into nursing, and then later found out that it was the exact same thing as the teaching field. And that you'll end up working for private institutions, whether it be hospitals or schools, and then you won't get the same law benefits that you would working for like federal schools or hospitals, because it's really hard to work for them, and there's like waiting lists, and there's like certain requirements. Like I couldn't even apply for the government, like to work for like a public school, because I would have to have like a bachelor's in education. So en mejor idiomas. Por eso te digo, like, this is my best advice. Like, if I could do it all over again in this time and age, not back in the early 2000s where we're very limited. If this was me and I was back in the States and I was planning my move, I would probably maybe, get like a certification or something back in the States. But I would probably, you guys, go for doing one here. Especially if I was already here. Like I would probably, if I had to choose from a certification and like una de idiomas, una carrera, aunque sea pequeña de idiomas, unos 2, 3, no sé cuántos semestres ofrezcan, aunque fuera una carrera técnica o una licenciatura en idiomas, yo sí lo haría, porque si tú puedes abrirte camino, no nada más para trabajar en privadas, sino en las públicas, hay dinero. O sea, todos los que estamos en México, everybody that's been in Mexico long enough knows that anything with the plazas con el gobierno, you're set. And you can even retire early A lot of these, I mean, they're living good. I've said this before in my teaching in Mexico video. If you haven't seen this, go back. I have like one or two about schools and teaching and all. It pays, you guys. It does pay good. And the law benefits are really good. You're just gonna have more opportunities altogether. I mean, it'll just be a lot easier to hire you if you have like a licenciatura. And you know, this will also be like a great way for you to venture out here and have a second chance and, you know, continue your education and continue growing and, you know, learn more and really just hacerte mexicano en todo, porque your vocabulary is gonna expand a whole lot. um you're gonna meet a lot of new people. You're gonna see how professors work here. It's gonna be a whole experience, you know, for you. You're gonna get to actually go to the schools and see how the school system is set up, because that's of course really different. And you know, honestly, the public system and the private system in Mexico is so different. So different. This is why I wanted to get to this like teaching series, so I could share the difference in that. I've shared the difference in schools and I've been very detailed about that. It's in that in one of the videos on public versus private schools in Mexico. But working for private schools too, it's like es todo un mundo, es diferente. Entonces sí te voy a decir cómo ha sido para mí, so I can give you like the heads up before you know, go and apply anywhere. One of the certifications that I was told by one of you guys not too long ago, a teacher, she's moving down, and she gave me info on what she looked into and what she was able to get before arriving. She's also she's coming to a border city, so I'm sure she's gonna have a lot of work. Because you have the thing about, look man, English is necessary everywhere, because now our kids, our Mexican kids, like our college kids, no se están pudiendo titular si no pasan un nivel de inglés alto, la verdad. Y para mí se me hace algo absurdo, que los gobiernos, las universidades autónomas o privadas vaya, autónomas, esas son las del estado, ¿verdad? Pero también las privadas que pidan como que un nivel súper alto de inglés, when they don't teach it, they don't. I mean, English out here is so bad, and this is why I want to do this, and like, at least, man, like, put you on game on this, because kids are not learning out here. And a lot of the schools that are established and all that, the ones that do actually teach and work, they charge a crap ton of money. And then the ones that don't, they don't teach them English that they can actually use. It's just nothing but books and books and books. It's like the kids don't really know avanza nada. Entonces, so our privileged kids have that advantage, you know, of getting ahead of our kids that, you know, they go to public schools. And they have a lot of kids in public schools que están totalmente en cero en inglés. Te vas a topar mucho de eso. Entonces, no sé, yo pienso que si es algo que vas a hacer, hazlo de corazón y anticipa el trabajo. Te digo esto para que puedas anticiparte del trabajo que vas a tener y para que puedas desarrollar una manera en que en verdad aprendan. Tal vez lo que yo te vaya a decir, maybe what I'll share with you is not going to work at all with you. Maybe you're a real teacher back home and you're going to be like, girl, no, that's not how it's done. But, you know, everybody has their own way of doing things, but just stick to something that's going to work and something that's going to be easy on them and on you. And just develop a little, you'll eventually with time, you'll develop little strategies that you'll realize that worked on your kids. And then you're going to get to know them. And, you know, most people focus on like an age group. I've known of a lot of teachers that, you know, work with just teenage kids, middle schoolers, and then other teachers, they hacen puro preescolar, maternal, that's their thing, you know. Me personally, dang, you know what? I like working with all ages, I would say it's, of course, a little easier to work with the older kids, maybe, I don't know. But, you know, this past year and a half, too, I was working with first and second graders, and my goodness, I just fell in love. I loved it. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things you're going to have to find out when you get here. Anyways, you guys, I hope this was helpful. I will probably just keep answering little questions just in case I left anything out. I just wanted to throw out there like the very immediate things that you can do if you're looking into moving out here and starting like a career in teaching. Go follow the Facebook group. look into some of these certifications that I, shared with you guys, and some of the carreras too that que están en las universidades autónomas y cosas así. Y espero con todo mi corazón que te vaya muy bien y que logres encontrar un lugar aquí en México. Sí se puede. Just knock on doors, se te van a abrir. Mientras, go on Indeed. I tell people this all the time too. That's my best advice. Always go on Indeed. .com and then / your city. En no sé qué estado estés, Querétaro, Guanajuato, Nuevo León, Sonora, Baja California, donde quiera que estés, aquí en Tamaulipas. Y checa ahí, o sea, teachers en donde sea que vas a estar, y te van a salir bastantes opciones. Vas a ver más o menos los salarios y vas a ver también si tienen prestaciones de ley. Es algo que sí tienes que ver. Si no tienen prestaciones de ley, asegúrate que por lo menos tengan muy buen salario, la verdad, porque idiomas tiene que pagar. Desde que yo llegué aquí, los que nada más enseñan, las maestras de español siempre ganaban menos que las maestras de inglés. Y es injusto, sí, pero en este caso tú tienes esa ventaja, ¿verdad? Y a veces tristemente que ellas eran licenciadas en educación y nosotros nada más traíamos, yo en ese entonces, super young, I had a GED, that's all I had. But they'll pay you for that knowledge, Hopefully we can keep this going and kind of just go a little step by step on where to get started. According, I guess, to the age group, you guys. I don't know how we're going to do this, but we're going to figure it out. I hope you guys have a blessed day, weekend. I don't even know when I'm going to upload this because I've had a lot going on, but I'll just try to get this out as soon as I can, you guys. Stay blessed. God bless you. Bye.